everyone, this is Eric again with another Battle Tanks League commentary video, and let me just set my colors to the correct mode. Let's get into it. It looks like Alrion has already teleported into the middle with a Tinker, as usual, from the North team, and there's nobody there to stop him except for Ultima, who could probably go up and try to capture him. Ultima's a relatively new player, that's probably why he teleported in with the Scout. He definitely has a chance. He and BlackBull could rush Alrion right now, but now it's too late. If Alrion gets another shot on Ultima, he can kill him, and Alrion does get the lucky shot, and now BlackBull has a chance to respond, but it's a bit too late. Escanor and Samael are there to accompany Alrion. You can see Alrion's skilled the teleport ability first rather than the tower ability, so he's going to have to reach level 2 before he can build any towers. But if Samael and Escanor are able to maintain a good position, then Alrion will be able to perhaps secure this strategic location with his towers. He does have to be careful, however. He's one shot away from dying. He can heal relatively quickly at the strategic location. Anyways, so it's Alrion with an energy torpedo, and then Samael with bombard rockets and a helicopter, and then Escanor with a basic magic and a medivac. And Escanor did not upgrade the basic magic at the start. He instead got a tech mech, as you can see on the minimap. And they are facing Ultima, who has the scout with the bombard rockets, and Gorgots, who also has a bombard rockets, but this time on a light tank, and then BlackBull, who has a helicopter and light plasma gun. As far as I know, both Ultima and Gorgots are kind of new players to League, so BlackBull will have to do some carrying this game. The fact that two of them have bombard rockets against Alrion's Tinker is going to mean that they're going to struggle. And then thank you, pikabar, for reminding me to turn on the mic, and best of luck to you carrying Gorgots and Ultima this game. And then Incognito is on the top for the South team with a Raider and a basic magic, and then he is facing up against Todd, who has a Demolisher and a basic magic. I think of these two players, Todd has the higher ELO, so even though Incognito is able to do consistent damage with his static charge ability to Todd, I think Todd will be the one to end up pushing Incognito. Incognito is definitely not a bad player, but Todd is one of the best players in the world. And then meanwhile we have pikabar on the bottom lane with a scout and an electro cannon. He is facing up against Marquez, and pikabar should be the one to push in this matchup since he has the scout that has higher DPS than a normal tank at this stage in the game, and then he also has a higher ELO than Marquez does. Meanwhile, this middle matchup should favor the North team. Like I said, both Gorgots and Ultima are new players. And then Alrion will probably take advantage of his energy torpedo. You can see he actually switched from Tinker to Scout. I'm not sure if I would have made that choice. I think given that the South team had two bombard rockets, he probably would have been quite well off as Tinker, and he could have secured this strategic location. But maybe he went Scout for the additional hit points and DPS, and now he can perhaps even get a second energy torpedo before he gets a hull. We'll see what he ends up doing. You can see at the top Incognito trying to put some pressure on Todd. Todd has too many creeps for now. Perhaps once Incognito and Todd get some additional weapons later in the game, at the 5 or 10 minute mark, and the creeps don't make as much of a difference, we can see them be more aggressive with one another. For now, Incognito and Todd are both going to try to hold their strategic locations, take advantage of the healing that those provide, and then push on one another when it is opportune. Neither of them want to get pushed too far because, as most players who play battle tanks know, if you get pushed to your own tower, as in if your enemy is able to bring their creeps all the way to your tower is going to start killing creeps, and that is gold that you do not get. I think, I'm not quite sure on the number, I'll have to double check, but if the light force or the dark force gets gold and there's 5 players on the team, then every 5 minutes they will distribute something like 60 or 65% of the gold that they earn to each player. So if it's 60%, then each player will get 12% of the force gold, which means if you have creeps die to your tower, not only are you going to end up getting something like 12% of the gold that you could have gotten had you not killed that tower, or had you killed the creep instead of the tower, but your team as a whole is only going to get 60% of that gold. And so if you are able to push your creeps to the enemy's tower, you are going to gain a gold advantage over them, and your team overall is going to gain a slight gold advantage. It's not that impactful team-wide in the early game. However, if you are on an individual matchup, one-on-one, pushing your creeps to their tower can result in you getting level 10, maybe a minute or two quicker than they do, and that can net you a kill. And it can maybe give you a 500 to 1,000 gold advantage by the time you guys tank up around 15 to 25 minutes. So it looks like we had a pause. I think everybody is back now. I wasn't paying attention to the chat during that time. And then Ultima, he has upgraded his Bombard Rockets. Gorgots hasn't yet. I wonder if he's going to try to save up for a second Bombard Rockets. He might need to invest in a hole though, because this North team does have aggressive weapons. And you see Ultima stepped a little bit too far and he was killed from long range. You can see both Alrion and Samael have 1300 range weapons. So perhaps if I were Gorgots, I would upgrade your Bombard Rockets and then save up for an Iron Hole, and then maybe try to get some basic magics or a second Bombard Rockets. BlackBull, meanwhile, will probably save up for a hole as soon as he can, and Gorgots has to be careful. He's a bit out of position. Escanor misses the super thrust, and Gorgots is able to get away just in time. Had he taken a super thrust and perhaps an energy torpedo, he would have died, and now Alrion's a bit vulnerable. He takes triple rockets from who is it, Gorgots, but he's able to get an energy torpedo off on BlackBull. And this North team is pushing pretty aggressively on this South team. The same thing applies for one-on-one matchups in the middle, where if the North team is able to push their creeps, and Alrion just got another kill. Let's see if Ultima can get a kill on him. Nope, he fires on the creep instead. If the North team is able to consistently push their creeps into the South team's towers, that is gold that the South team loses. And you just saw those towers get a couple of kills right now. Looks like Incognito at least has gotten a second basic magic and is pushing on Todd. Todd has spec'd mines, so he can play a bit defensively as Demolisher and try to stack up mines in a location. He uses the shockwave on the creeps to clear them away from Incognito, and now he's just firing on Incognito. He's one shot away from killing him, and Incognito is able to survive just barely there in that exchange. So yeah, it looks like Todd is trying to save up for a better weapon, such as an electro cannon. That's why he hasn't gotten a second basic magic yet. The advantage of getting the energy torpedo. Let's check on what's happening in the middle. It looks like the North team just got another kill. The advantage of getting an energy or an electro cannon over a second basic magic is that it saves you an inventory slot later in the game, which means I think the basic magic upgrade is something like 1600 value, 1666, and so that's a bit more value that your tank can have later in the game. And then the electro cannon also has 50 range over the basic magic, which is noticeable at the start of the game. Once you get to the mid game, it becomes less impactful. But it looks like BlackBull is, or who is it, Todd, is trying to save himself an inventory slot for later. We'll see how that goes for him if he's able to maintain his position. He might have just gotten a second basic magic and not lost all those creeps to the tower there. I think that tower just got 4 creep kills at once. And then where is Pikabar? It looks like he changed out his scout for a medivac, and he has the electro cannon upgrade. So Marquez was able to push his troops a little bit forward, but that's just because Pikabar was at the base, and Marquez is a little bit vulnerable. If he has all 3 of his heat-seeking missiles charged, he can ward off Pikabar, but he will probably have to retreat for now. Upgrading the second basic magic there. Incognito continuing to put pressure on Todd. That's probably going to be the case until Todd gets a second weapon. Incognito does have to be careful. He can run into a mine or 2 of Todd's and render himself vulnerable all of a sudden. And yep, Pikabar is pushing Marquez back to his own tower, and he already has a full level advantage over Marquez, which is pretty significant at 8 minutes. So Pikabar is definitely farming more gold than Marquez is, and let's see if he can save up for a tank quickly enough to help his middle out. BlackBull now has an iron hole. He's probably saving up for another weapon. He's got to be careful if Alrion gets another shot on him. Yeah, one more shot and he'd be dead. That's why he retreated. And then Ultima has gotten an iron hole, probably saving up for a second bombard rockets, and then Gorgots has also gotten a hole. He still hasn't upgraded his bombard rockets, though. Probably would have been worthwhile to do a few minutes ago. It would have given him some extra DPS. Alrion, meanwhile, is likely saving up for another energy torpedo, so he's pretty confident in his own ability to survive, and that these tanks on the south team aren't going to do much pressure, aren't going to put much pressure on him. They're trying to kill Gorgots, but Gorgots does flee in time. Escanor, meanwhile, he has 2 basic magics on his medivac, so he might get a hole next to tank for Alrion. And then Samael now has 2 bombard rockets, so this north team really leaning into the long range for now, and they're going to definitely use that to push the creeps into the south team's towers. Once pikabar gets a good tank, he might be able to abuse this and hop into the middle, get a couple of quick kills. Let's see what ends up happening there. For now, he's just continuing to push on Marquez, and he is still maintaining that 1 level advantage over him. You can see Todd did sell his basic magic to get an electro cannon. Selling your basic magic does allow you to get the second weapon a bit faster if you are saving up for something like an electro cannon or a swarm rockets. Instead of having to save up 2750 gold, you can save up, I think, like 1900 gold, a little over 1900 gold, sell your basic magic, and then you use your tech mech to buy it back, which is exactly what Todd is doing right now. It allows you to get your second weapon up a little bit quicker so that you're not spending as much time having your own tower pushed in Todd's case. So, proper execution of that build by him. He probably lost the few creeps and a little bit of leveling by trying to save up for that weapon, but he does save an inventory slot later in the game now. BlackBull tries to be aggressive against Alrion, but takes an energy torpedo to the face before he can do anything. And then does Alrion have his second energy torpedo yet? Wonder if he might just try to save up for a quick heavy tank and keep the energy torpedo. That would also be very effective, because he is level 10 soon, and then couple of kills in the middle. Actually, the south team came ahead on that one, able to kill 2 people for 1. You wonder if Alrion is going to try to rush level 10 with that scout and then get a heavy tank, and that'll really make it difficult for all 3 of these tanks, which are very vulnerable, to save up for decent tanks in the mid game. And yeah, we do see Incognito has about half a level lead over Todd, so that's the consequence of him being able to push Todd's creeps while Todd was saving up for a weapon. Now that Todd has his weapon back, though, the dynamic should change. Todd should be able to hold his own and then place mines around the map for Incognito to fall into. If I'm Incognito, I would be watching Todd very closely to see when his mana goes down, because that indicates when he's laid a mine, and he should try to rush these mines whenever possible, just to keep them from massing up. 1 mine is not that big of a deal if you're able to control when you run into it, but if 2 or 3 of them are together, and especially if you're not quite paying attention to where they are, then that can really be consequential. For example, if that were a level 3 mine and Todd ran into that right now, he would instantly die. I don't think that's a level 3 mine yet, but once again, Incognito does need to be paying attention to Todd's mana bar and his movement. Escanor gets a kill on Gorgots, with the help of his allies, of course. And then Ultima now has an electro cannon in addition to his bombard rockets, so he has a pretty DPS heavy build. It might be worthwhile for him to change to something like a medivac or a helicopter, just to be able to put more aggression on these 3 opponents here. Then again, the additional DPS provided by the scout is able to help him kill some creeps as they're stacking up against the towers. They are trying to be aggressive against Alrion, who still doesn't have a hole. BlackBull with an electro cannon of his own, so they are starting to get some good weapons. If Alrion is able to get that heavy tank soon, that definitely is going to put a lot of pressure on all 3 of these tanks who just bought heavy weapons and don't have that many hit points relatively. BlackBull once again trying to push on Alrion. Alrion can ward him off with the energy torpedo, so BlackBull is playing relatively carefully right now. They are going to try to kill Gorgots once again. They're not going to be able to. BlackBull is going to have to retreat, however. And then pikabar doesn't look like he's saving up yet. He might start saving for a tank now. He might just try to push Marquez's tower all the way, take advantage of the fact that the middle is pushing so far, and then try to take a command post. The only one who'd be in position to teleport in would be Todd. And so pikabar might try to put some aggression on this tower and then just go ghost tank to siege the base and try to help his teammates out in the middle with armor upgrades. Given that he's once again carrying two relatively new league players. I think they start out at 1000 ELO automatically just by being new to the league, but their gameplay as new league players is probably going to be a bit below 1000 for now. Todd gets a kill on Incognito and barely survives. Missed that, and then Gorgots dies once again. He probably needs to stay a bit closer to this command post and to his teammates. Even though he's retreating to the tower and behind the creeps, the three enemies are able to single him out and focus him down without punishment from BlackBull and Ultima, given that they're at the command post here. Alrion saving beyond a heavy tank. He wonder if he might go a hunter. Alrion does get the hunter pretty often. So 5,800 gold at 14 minutes, so you wonder if we're going to see a 20-minute hunter here with an energy torpedo. That's going to make it... Well, I think the heavy tank might be the more aggressive choice and probably the better choice in this situation, because it would pretty much guarantee that none of these three tanks save up to a tier 3 tank, and it would allow both Samael and Escanor to save up to much better tanks for the mid-game. The hunter at 20 minutes is also going to be very powerful. Ultima barely survives the super thrust from Escanor. Meanwhile, Todd trying to pressure Incognito now. He does have, it looks like, a second basic magic, and Incognito has a third basic magic. As a raider, he'll probably get a repair kit soon. Raiders, both the Demolisher and Raider level 10 abilities are very powerful. Incognito needs to be careful that he doesn't run into either of these mines, and he does run into both of those mines. That's why you got to be careful about not letting them stack up. Both of those mines were able to kill him. Pikabar, meanwhile, continuing to pressure Marquez. Pikabar is slightly over one level ahead of Marquez now, and I didn't see what his other weapon was. Marquez has a couple of weapons of his own and doesn't have any gold saved up. Pikabar now has two basic magics and the electro cannon, so maybe he'll start saving up for a tank now. Maybe he'll try to get something like a repair kit and then really pressure this tower. And then neither BlackBull, Ultima, nor Gorgots are saving up. Actually, Ultima looks like he's saving up quite a bit of gold. He does have a lot of weapons on his tank. Oh, good combo there, targeting Alrion down, and Samael is vulnerable, and so is Escanor. If they can catch them, they're going to be able to run away. BlackBull probably has to get back before he gets shot too many times. Good play by the South team there, killing Alrion and nearly killing two others. So it looks like Ultima is going to be able to get a tank probably at 20 minutes. To respond to Alrion's hunter. And Alrion already has that hunter. He has a no weapons hunter at 20 minutes. No weapons hunter is kind of interesting because Alrion loses any farm he can get from creeps. The hunter's tank cannon does not attack creeps, and you can see he's dealing 0 damage right now. However, this is such a quick hunter that he can kill most of these tanks just with abilities. You can see he nearly kills Gorgots, and he's able to finish him off with his tank cannon and the help of his allies. He still has his main gun in him. He gets another kill. BlackBull is vulnerable. Alrion does kill him. BlackBull cannot hide in the midst of his creeps from Alrion's tank cannon, which also has 1300 range. And so that's probably going to be Alrion's farm for now. He needs, I think, 1900 gold to get back the energy torpedo, so he is going to get some additional DPS soon. But that is a very, very, very early hunter. That was before 17 minutes. And even though it is no weapons, his opposing tanks only have, I think, 2500. Yeah, 2500. 1700 and 2000 hit points respectively, so any combination of abilities is going to kill them, and that's going to be Alrion's farm for now. Alrion's tank cannon or main gun at level 4 does 2000 damage if he is 25, or I forget what the range is. I think it's 2000 range, so anytime that ability is recharged, he could instantly kill Ultima. He could nearly kill Gorgots as well. And yep, he gets the kill on Ultima with the assistance of Samael, who stuns him first with his triple rocket. And now BlackBull's got to be careful. he can't hide in his command post for too long because he can take a couple of tank cannons from Alrion and then the gravity grenade. Looks like pikabar is continuing to push Marquez at the top. He's trying to save up. He definitely sees that Alrion has the hunter and that the middle is going to need help. So he needs to get a tank soon and really take advantage of being able to hop in. Ultima is going to die once again to a gravity grenade and a tank cannon from Alrion. Ultima and Gorgots' lack of experience definitely showing, and BlackBull doesn't have enough gold to make up for it right now. It's 18 minutes and he only has 1100 gold saved up. They're able to get a kill on Samael, but BlackBull, or Gorgots, does die in return. Pikabar with a Goblin Shredder, that's going to help the middle out definitely. He is level 10, but Escanor is able to run away from him before Pikabar can pull him in. So it looks like Pikabar is going to let Marquez push away from his own tower for now. I wonder if he'll try to get the kill on Marquez. Marquez does have his heat-seeking missiles charged up, so Pikabar can't do that much to him after letting Marquez get them charged up. But it looks like he's going to let Marquez push this tower, and he's just going to try to hop in the middle and pull Alrion or his fellow tanks as much as possible. BlackBull with a good save of himself with the kinetic shield, and now both Incognito and Pikabar teleport in, but they get hit by the gravity grenade. Looks like Escanor has supplemented Alrion's hunter with a heavy tank, and then Incognito is going to be able to get one kill. Actually, he dies. Looks like his Raider ultimate ended and then he died, so he was able to at least get that off. And yeah, this South team desperately needs tanks. BlackBull is not close to getting a tank. Gorgots is not close to getting a tank. Let's see what Ultima ends up getting. Ultima was the one who had quite a bit of gold a few minutes ago. He has 5,800 gold. He could at least get a heavy tank for now. And yeah, that's what he's going to do, and Gorgots remains vulnerable, and so does BlackBull. That kinetic shield has I think a 75-second cooldown, so that's about every 2 ability cycles from Alrion and Escanor. So he's going to be able to save himself every other push from them. Looks like Marquez is joining in from the top. If Pikabar is going to be here, Marquez is going to join in, make it a 4-on-4. Ultima is not yet level 10 on the heavy tank, otherwise he probably would have gotten that kill on Samael. But yeah, this is not looking good for the South team so far. With that hunter and that heavy tank coming in, they can do quite a bit of damage. Pikabar is going to try to kill Escanor. He's going to flee because it took too long. And then Incognito has had his tower get pushed by Todd, though Incognito looks like he's going to stay with Raider for a while. He got a poison magic on it. Maybe he'll even get a shredder, 2 shredders on that team to just target down Alrion, especially before he can do too much damage, because Alrion is getting fed, so he's going to become very powerful in about 5 or 10 minutes when he can get some other weapons, some speed, and orbital strike. So if Pikabar and Incognito can both get shredders and just focus on pulling him and only him, Gorgots might die again if he's 2,000 range away from Alrion. Alrion does hit Pikabar with the gravity grenade, and now he's going to hit him with the main gun. Doesn't quite get the kill. You can see Incognito and Todd killed each other on the top. Yeah, maybe a second shredder from Incognito to, as I said, just keep pulling Alrion. Don't let him deal any damage in group fights. And then Gorgots does not have that much gold. It's 21 minutes. He's going to be able to sell his hull and his bombard rockets. He can sell his stuff for about, I think he doesn't even have the upgrade on the iron hull, so 2250, including the tank. Actually, 2150. So he could, even if he sold his tank right now, he could only get something like an airship. He's probably going to have to wait until 25 minutes and at least get a heavy tank. Pikabar pulls in Alrion, and then BlackBull stuns him. BlackBull doesn't have his kinetic shield recharged, but they are going to be able to get the kill on Alrion, probably. Alrion does use the gravity grenade, and that was a costly kill on Alrion. That was, everybody died on the South team. They were able to barely kill him. Incognito doesn't quite have the speed to follow Todd, and before his ability can go off, Todd gets the kill on him. BlackBull has his kinetic shield recharged. Let's see if Pikabar can pull in Escanor. They're not. And then Marquez also has a heavy tank. So I think the only one who hasn't tanked up quite yet is Samael, and he's amassing quite a bit of gold. So he'll probably get a tier 3 tank soon. Pikabar tries to pull in Samael and use his glaives to kill him. It's not going to be enough, and now he is vulnerable. Alrion body blocks him. But the Light Force actually got the kill, the lone commander right there. BlackBull dodges Alrion's main gun. And then Alrion's going to get another kill along with Marquez, able to trap Ultima and the gravity grenade. And yeah, those are 3 powerful tanks and a tank that is saving. Can't click on Samael, almost 7,000 gold. So definitely not looking good for the South team. This game is probably not going to go very long. And yeah, they just already gave up. So yeah, probably a wise choice. Don't keep playing it out. It was unfortunate that the balance put both Ultima and Gorgots on the same team because they're brand new players, and Alrion just took advantage of them the whole game with long range and later the Hunter. So hopefully the next game I commentate will go a bit better and be a bit more balanced. It is very fun for me to commentate these, so I'll keep doing it. Titan Music out.